I like Frances Rivera on MSNBC. She seems to have a nice, light personality. Speaks pretty well. Decent looking woman, etc. But she ran into a problem when she tried to use the MSNBC philosophy as far as dealing with Nina Turner. One thing about Nina, she is not going to let you get away with anything. And when Frances tried to take a particular tack with her, she basically set her back on her heels, which is exactly why I love Nina Turner.
And on next Tuesday, in a few days, here in Washington, you will be having the very last primary of the Democratic nominating process. It would be extraordinary if the people of Washington, our nation's capital, stood up and told the world that they are ready to lead this country into a political revolution.
Bernie Sanders still drawing crowds and sending the message that he plans to fight until the end, even as Hillary Clinton picks up a string of endorsements from the White House to Elizabeth Warren. Nina Turner is a top Bernie Sanders surrogate and former Ohio State Senator. Nina, as always, good to have you with me as we get started here. You kind of look in and comment on what's happened this week after meeting with the president. Bernie Sanders said that he plans to stay in the contest of D.C. and then ideally would like to meet with Hillary Clinton. Where does that possible meeting stand?
Well, Francis, there's nothing new about what the senator has said. He said it all along that he wanted to make sure that everybody in this great nation had their opportunity to have a choice and to vote. And so, yes, Tuesday is the last and final, but he's living up to his promises. And I know a lot of people are not expecting or believe that politicians will actually do what they say, but Senator Sanders is certainly one of those. In terms of the senator's meeting with the secretary, I'm not sure, but we know, in fact, that is going to happen. I believe that the senator is going to continue to push for the issues that he has always been pushing for, the things that he has been fighting for all of his political career. He has been fighting for the middle class and the poor people in this country, and so nothing has changed because he has run a very issues-oriented campaign, unlike a lot of folks. So all of the issues that he cares about, social justice, criminal justice reform, increasing the minimum wage, universal health care, expanding and protecting Social Security, protecting our environment, all of those things are still vitally important to the senator.
When will he do that? When will he continue to make that fight, but not as a candidate for president?
Well, that's up to the Senator Francis and Dr. Jane Sanders. They put a lot of sweat equity and political equity into standing up to the status quo and giving the citizens of this great country a choice to show that you don't have to raise money by super PACs and having multi-millionaires and billionaires, that you can raise money $27 at a time. He's really shaking this. And you know what, Francis, no matter what happens, we all owe a great debt of gratitude to Senator Sanders, whether we're Democrats or not, because he has shown very clearly that the people can weigh in on their government. They can weigh in on the type of future that they want to see. So all of that, though, is up to the senator. I don't live in his head, so it's all up to him.
But if you look at it, you have endorsements from Elizabeth Warren, from the president, and you have even Politico reporting that at this point there are top Bernie Sanders supporters who are really saying, okay, when is this going to happen as far as stepping down, considering you have the endorsements, and also when it comes to this letter to superdelegates, suggesting and urging switching over, and there's a little bit of a question where that stands, and you have these repeated calls for people in the party, for people who are Bernie Sanders supporters, for him to step down.
Well, Francis,
that was a mistake, Francis, because Nina Turner has not backed away from Bernie Sanders, and I guess she's going to let you know right here.
All of his supporters have not called for him to step down. Certainly, I have not called for him to step down. People have decisions to make. I have a decision to make. His other supporters have a decision to make. But this one thing is absolutely crystal clear. He is still a candidate. He got into this race. He didn't get into this race to stop at the end. You know, just like when people are playing on a sports team, they don't stop at the end just because the score might not necessarily be in their favor. All of the reasons why, for instance, he got in this race in the first place are still out front and center. People are still suffering. We got 47 million people in this country who live in poverty. We got another half who are on the brink of poverty. We have our young people being saddled with debt even before they walk across the stage of any college. So we still have these important issues remain front and center. So nothing has changed on that.
Well, when you say the end, I have to ask you, when you say fight till the end, his words, fight till the end, what is that end? Ultimately, is that a contested convention? Or talk about the practicality of that.
Well, he said all along, newsflash, nothing has changed, that he is going all the way to the convention. Now, how the senator decides to do that ultimately after Tuesday is up to him. But I will say this, he has been a gallant champion for all of the issues that are important to the least of these in this great country. And that particular thing has not changed, whether he is still a candidate or not. I believe that the senator is going to continue to fight for those issues, and so will I.
Well, let's talk about this. You've been such an ardent and diehard supporter of Bernie Sanders when he lost in California and New Jersey. You know, I'm sure there was that part of you that, you know, was a little bit crushed here, but there is what many still call his political revolution, his movement that is in play here. But also on the side, we also see you when you say, when it comes to right now this Twitter back and forth between Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren, you on a radio show said, you know what, she doesn't win any brownie points, in your words. What do you mean by that? And why was it relevant to even say that?
Because the Democrats, some Democrats, seem to be purely focused on a back and forth drama. This is not, Democrats are not going to build and push and excite Democrats and the independent voters that we need to come out and vote if it's only about the drama between the secretary and Mr. Trump. We need people who are going to stand up and talk about the issues that matter to people. I mean, for instance, I traveled all over this country and people are hurting. All is not well in everybody's household. All is not well in everybody's jobs and their communities. And they need somebody who's going to step up and talk about those issues. So going back and forth, rappers go back and forth on Twitter. You know, teenagers go back and forth on Twitter. What we need are people who are going to stand up and talk about the issues. Right. The contrast between the secretary and Mr. Trump is very clear. So let's talk about those issues and not so much on the drama, because the American people are going to be left behind. That's what I mean by that. And I'm an independent thinker, Francis. I am a Democrat, but I'm an independent thinker, and like Shirley Chisholm, I'm unbought and unbossed.
Nina, thank you for that. Also, but I have to ask you very, very quickly. You're saying the issues need to be out there instead of the drama. The message needs to be out there as well. Can that message and can those issues be underscored even more with Bernie Sanders as Hillary Clinton's VP?
Before I let go with her answer, you notice that Francis tried to start a little controversy there between Senator Sanders or Nina Turner and Senator Warren, and Nina Turner basically set her straight and told her exactly what she was talking about, and Francis had to back up for a minute. Now she's got a short period of time to get this last answer out.
Well, my God, I'm certainly, you know, listen, the secretary has every right to pick her own candidate, but let me tell you something, the progressives out there, that will go a long way to bring some of the diehard progressives into the fold. To have Senator Sanders right there by the secretary's side, that draws a strong contrast. But I can't say whether or not the secretary or the senator wants that to happen. That is up to both of them.
And I'm sure something that will maybe be brought up if this meeting happens between the two of them, and when it does, if and when. Thank you so much.
Now, Nina Turner is the kind of loyal soldier every man needs to have. God bless her.